All right, our third company is coming up. The company is Sqreen, spelled with a Q. And presenting for Sqreen are Pierre Betouin and Paul Blachir.
Hi, my name is Pierre. I am the co-founder of Sqreen. We are changing the way developers can protect their application. So imagine you're a developer today. It's Monday morning. You have tons of bugs to fix and features to push. You open your mailbox, and you receive an email about a SQL injection attack in your application. This time it's real. You've been breached. So how could this happen? The last security audit was performed only a couple of weeks ago. You have scanners checking vulnerabilities in your code every day. And you even have firewalls in place that were supposed to block it. In fact, security audit cannot be performed each time your code is changed. Scanner reports, they are full of false positives. You don't read them anymore. And your firewalls, well, they are way too permissive because you cannot block legitimate traffic. And this is how security is today, whether you are big or small. And that's exactly what I experienced for the last 10 years. I was in charge of a security team at Apple. And we could see this gap every day between development and security. Because you have tools for mostly everything today. You can provision your containers in 10 seconds. You can deploy your app in one click. You get scalable database on AWS. And then you monitor the performance of your app with New Relic. But security is left behind. This is why we built Sqreen. Sqreen is a security solution that protects your application at runtime. Sqreen monitors critical functions inside your application, like authentication databases. Being inside the app is actually more than just a technical detail. This allows us to block unknown vulnerabilities because our protection is based on the logic of execution, not just patterns. And that's also the way we tackle false positives. And if you want to have exact details about the vulnerabilities, we provide them directly in the interface, like if you were using a debugger. So let's have a quick demo with Paul.
Hi, everyone. What we have here is a standard Rails application. Like most web apps, it has vulnerabilities. So let me go ahead and protect it with Sqreen. It only takes 3 commands. We just copy them from the interface right here and paste them in the terminal. Because installing Sqreen is not different from installing any other dependency in your application. There we go. It really is that simple. So now let's go back to our web app. It's now protected against major vulnerabilities. And let me show you how Sqreen reacts to a SQL injection attack. I'm going to perform the attack right here in the browser. Sqreen blocks the attack immediately, and this is what a hacker would see. But now let me show you what a developer can see in the Sqreen dashboard. The first thing you note here is a summary on top. You can know if your app is currently under attack. You get a bird's eye view of your overall security, and unusual activity is highlighted. But Sqreen goes one step further, because we show you suspicious user activities. We protect your users and customers against account takeovers and brute force attacks. But as a developer, you want to know if the events require actions on your side. So you can just click here and get a full detail on the attack we just blocked. You can see the IP and location of the hacker, debugging information to help you investigate, and the full backtrace here in green, showing you the exact vulnerabilities in your code, all in one place.
Did you get exactly what happened in the demo? It's actually pretty cool. When the attack arrived in the application, it went through the different layers of the execution. And when it reached the database layer, Sqreen detected that the attack tried to modify the structure of a SQL query. This is the exact behavior of a SQL injection. Sqreen blocked it and reported it. So where are we now as a company? We blocked already 1 million of attacks so far, and we launched our beta 5 months ago. More than 400 companies and developers have been using Sqreen. And as we want all developers to be able to protect their application, our pricing starts at $99 per month and scales as you grow with the number of hosts. Today, we are really excited to announce that Sqreen is now available for Python, Rails, and Node.js applications. We are Sqreen, and we make application security simple. Thank you.
Nice work. All right, who has questions for Sqreen?
So if you're creating a virtual machine and every sort of web app that exists to sort of filter everything through, what performance sort of hits do you take in your app deployment or in latency that you should account for that the application developer has to put in to deal with any sort of performance hit?
So yeah, we have a virtual machine, and the projection we had, the logic brings an overhead. It's about 5%, and that's less than performance monitoring tools. And we believe it's an acceptable overhead to bring security in your application easily and quickly.
And how do you know it works? Like, what are you protecting? What are you not protecting against?
Okay, so we can protect against major threats, which are generic threats like SQL injection, XSS, account takeovers, code execution, and so on. But we don't protect against businesses threats, which are way too specific to your application. It's like not a magical tool, but we can protect against generic threats, and they are like 80% of the threats you have today.
How do you keep enriching your set of threats that you protect against? How do you find new attacks to protect against?
So each time attacks are reported, we send them to the backend so we can analyze them, and then we can work on these data sets. And then we can create rules which will be executed by the virtual machine which is inside the application. So this means that we have a kind of feedback loop between the events which are triggered and the protection which is brought in the applications.
So the 400 companies that have signed up with you, did they switch from another kind of service, or is this an additional thing that they were either doing manually or weren't watching for?
So basically, in the security landscape today, you have the people who are trying to stress the application. So they are basically security scanners. And you have people who are trying to mitigate the threats. So basically, web application firewalls or protections. But you have nothing in between. Like, for the developers, they want to know where the vulnerability was triggered. And they also want protection. And in this very middle of the landscape, there is currently nobody. So we are here to solve this problem today.
How are you guys selling today?
Sorry?
How are you guys thinking of selling this? Is it going to be an enterprise sale? Do you have some interesting distribution model?
So right now it's a SaaS solution, and you can sign up and just install Sqreen in 30 seconds, as you saw. So basically, developers can install it very quickly. We don't need right now to have like a high-touch sales to sell this solution, and that's also an advantage of Sqreen.
Is it just one developer uses it, or doesn't the whole team need to use it in order for it to be effective?
So everybody can use it because you can see where the attacks come from and so on. But that's also the way for developers to fix their code whenever they want. Because if you have a firewall, then you're going to block some event, but you don't know where the threat happens. So you're going to have to dig into your code and to find where the vulnerability was triggered. And it's like very painful for developers today.
And your strategy for letting the hacker know where you shut them down, talk a little bit about that, because some people like to not let the hacker know so they can, they think they're through, or but you guys are coming right out and saying we just blocked you. What's the strategy there?
So actually, you decide whatever you want to do. So here in the demo, we showed like a 500 errors. So basically, the execution stopped. And we reported the fact to the hacker that it was like that. But you can decide whatever you want to do. Like you can redirect your traffic to another page. You can do whatever you want. So the strategy is yours.
I had a question. Given your background was 10 years at Apple, I think you said, what made you decide to go now to do this? Was it the market timing or something else?
No, I think security for developers is something that is sparkling. Everybody is trying to go in that market. And we could feel, this need, because when you report security issues, the developers are struggling to, to fix their code. And we saw already a big gap between developers and security. So I think it's really a good timing to do that.
Okay.
How big is your team?
15 people, and we are based in Paris, as you can hear.
Great. Any last questions? Cool. Well, nice work, guys. Give it up one more time for Sqreen.